I'ma be specific. Through my hiatus, it was some tension, a lot of friction, but I kept this shit so prolific. That's worth the Nipsey in them 60s. Temptation trying to tempt me. Why the fuck you talking like you get me? It's gonna take more than that for y'all to get me. This one's for the ones when I was down that chose to kick me. This one's for the girls when I was broke that didn't pick me. Now I'm up, believe it or not, just like it's Ripley's. I'm back now, 10 toes down, I never back down. Old girls trying to double background. You should hear how that sound. And although this shit is flattering, it really is embarrassing to let go what you once had, then try to double back on it. This shit is blasphemous, and really I'm not having it. I used the knife to cut you up, the same one that you stabbed me with.
What's good, family? This is the Playmaker podcast. I'm your host, Reggie Coleman. And I know it's been a minute since you saw my face. It's been about 3 or 4 months. I'm doing behind the scenes work nowadays, but I'm trying to get more consistent on, being on the camera and also bringing content to the Playmaker podcast. So it was only right to bring my brother back on. This is his second time. I think on Instagram I put third. I was ahead of myself. But this is his second time on. It was about 2.5 years ago that he was on. So if you've been a follower, a listener, or a viewer, you know his background. But if you're a new listener or a new viewer or subscriber, you might not know him. So first and foremost, thank you, Nahj, for letting us in your space and coming back on the show. But for our new listeners, let them know a little bit about you, your background, all that good stuff.
Yo, it's the vibes, man. It's the vibes. You already know what it is. And for the ones who don't, I go by the name of Nahj. Straight from the town, man. Trenton, New Jersey. Just getting it, man. From the mud, trying to make it like everybody else, bro. I'm happy to be back. It's been a couple of years. A lot of shit done shook since then. The Playmaker podcast is definitely one of the first outlets that put me on the platform on the podcast at level of things. So, I'm excited, man. I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me. We doing it from the crib, man. We at my humble abode right now, which is even better. I feel like Joe Button and one of them. We in the crib doing it. But yeah, man. Just getting to it, bro. 2023, man. New vibes, new money. New levels, new everything. We try and get it on all angles from all sides. So,
like I said, thank you for allowing us in here. I'm a traveling podcast now. I don't got my own space yet, but it ain't about that. It's about bringing the content to the people, the good content, the positive content that people need to see. Like when I started this, it was always to shed light on those who I feel like don't get the exposure or the light that they deserve. Mm-hmm. So of course you've always been one of those people. You one of the top, if not the top, in the town in this rap shit. But we're gonna get into that, into the music.
We definitely gonna.
So get into that. Let's start off. I know you got a new freestyle. I don't know if you want to talk about that first or towards the end, but it's the most relevant. So
right. Nah, I just dropped the Circa Loco freestyle, which is a record off of the Her Loss album with Drake and 21 Savage. And I'm in a space now, bro, where I'm just on some, kill spray everything. Like I ain't holding nothing back. Ain't nothing getting spared. If it's hot and it's what the people want, I'ma touch it. So I'm just kind of taking that formula that Wayne had, back in the day where he was on his no ceiling shit or his dedication shit. I'm bringing it back to that. Like we ripping everything. We touching any beat. I'm touching any beat that want to be touched. From the newest, hottest beat to some throwback shit, we just gonna touch everything just to build more anticipation for the up and coming music that I have on the original side of things.
So your listeners, your fan base, they should be expecting more freestyles in the near future.
Definitely, like once a week type vibes, and we gonna just keep it going just to build more anticipation. And plus, I just enjoy the sport, man. This rap shit is sport, so me personally, it's like shooting in the gym for me. You feel me? This is my practice. This is how I stay sharp. This is how the iron sharpens the iron. And I just dropped the Circa Loco freestyle 2 days ago. I don't know what made me pick that beat. Maybe because it's relevant right now, and that Her Loss album is one of the top albums right now. It's in heavy rotation. And I knew it would be a beat that most people wouldn't even have thought of doing that.
Yeah.
I like to do the beats that's going to challenge me lyrically, push me to new heights. And new creativity standpoints that'll make me stand out and separate me from the rest. So I was like, you know what, let me do this beat. I threw my man's Manny Mac on it, and he moonwalked on that bitch so crazy. Like, it was just like some Joel Santana, like Lil Wayne, I Can't Feel My Face collab. Like, it was just synchronized perfectly. We always had chemistry though, man. Shout out to my nigga Manny Mac too. That's my guy, Mac 11, man. He coming too this year. You know what I mean?
Hey, we might have to get him on the show too.
Facts. Gotta get Mac on a joint, man. He definitely another MC that I feel is underrated. Don't get his due diligence, his due credit, but he really better than a lot of people. I'm gonna put the house up on Manny if it come down to it, because he's one of the guys that keeps me sharp. You know what I mean? Like I said, this shit is sports. So just like in the league, you got LeBron, but you also got KD. Giannis, got KD, you got Damian Lillard. Like, it's other stars in this shit, and I'm not the guy that's going to shy away from them. I'm going to embrace everybody that's going to bring the best out of me. So he's definitely one of them guys, man.
So speaking of like dropping weekly with the freestyles, how important do you think it is to drop content as I'm gonna just call you an artist? As an artist, how important do you think that is? Because I know when you was on before, you was talking about if you're not inspired, if nothing don't move you sometimes you don't go with putting out music for months at a time. So how important is it to you now to put out content consistently?
It's more important than ever, and that it's crazy. A few years back, my mindset was different. My sense of urgency has changed. My sense of just let's get it done has changed. Like, I still want to be inspired, but now I do realize that consistency is the most important element to this shit. So, if you're not going to be consistent, you might as well not even drop the music at all. So now I'm in a space where it's like, nah, like we ain't keeping nothing in the tuck. We letting it all fly, from freestyles to industry beats to the original music. I'm letting it go. So 2023, they probably going to hear from me more than they ever heard from me, because I'm about to be in their face with it at all times. You feel me?
And speaking of consistency, like we talked before we got on the camera, is like, I'm by myself now for the most part, and right. It's been times where I'm like, yo, do I even want to do this anymore? And then I started the network to keep it going, but not actually being on camera. But I think the consistency is where you need to just push things out. Like, it don't matter what it is. It can be a 2-minute clip in my case, because I do podcasts. It can be a 1-minute clip. It can be anything. Just keep pushing content, because if people don't see you for a while, it's like you lost relevancy.
You lost relevancy. Absolutely, I agree.
I gotta keep pushing. Just like you said, 2023 is a big year for me. I know it's a big year for you to take that next step in our lanes, because if we don't do it now, when we gonna do it?
It's either now or never, and that's the mindset I have. That's the mentality I'm leading with. I ain't waiting for nobody. I'm gonna get it done. I ain't making no excuses. We ain't blaming it on funds. We ain't blaming it on nothing. Hard work gonna outbeat the talent. So no matter how good I am, no matter how many people think Nahj the best, if Nahj not working, it's not gonna happen.
So you touched on it a little bit. So what else should we expect in 2023 from you? I know you dropping a bunch of freestyles. I know you got some things in the tuck that you might put out as a, whatever you want to call it, EP, album, whatever it is. What should we look out for in 2023?
All right, so from the last time we talked to now, I've been working on a very special body of work. And I was going to put it out as an album, but then I thought about it. I talked it over with, my colleagues and, some people who actually know what's going on in the music business. And I'm going to release it as an EP. I ain't going to release it as an album, because I don't, from a logistics standpoint as an artist, once you label something an album, let's just say moving down the line, I signed with Epic Records, and, they tallying up the numbers on stuff that I released previously prior to, that's going to be counted against me. You know what I mean? So we're going to label it an EP, but I've been working on this EP from the moment I did the first podcast to now. So this is literally years in the making. And, before we get out of here, before y'all get out of here, before I kick y'all out, whatever. But before we get out of here, I'm going to let y'all hear the EP. It's entitled The Popular Loner, man. And it's synchronized, bro. It's a beautiful body of work for the people who have heard it, because the EP done. You feel me? The EP's done. For the people who have heard it, they telling me it's a no skip joint. You know, every song is hitting. You know what I mean? So the substance is there, the accountability is there. It's very personal. You know, it's my life. You know what I mean? So it's gonna ruffle some feathers. I'm touching on a lot of subjects. You know what I mean? That need to be touched on. I never really did it for the net. You know what I mean? Or you know, I've been in my fair share of stuff over the years of just not really acknowledging a lot of stuff, but I'm putting it all into the music. You know what I mean? So I'm excited, bro. So 2023, y'all can expect this EP to drop. We aiming for the summer because you know we want to do it when it's hot out. But in the meantime, I'm gonna probably give y'all a few capsules in between, 2-3 song capsules. You know, little packages that I could just release, and I'm gonna keep giving y'all these freestyles. And we shooting movies, man. We gonna shoot all. I'm probably gonna shoot some visual content for anything that I'm doing musically. You know, I'm gonna just put it in their face. So we taking a different approach, man. I feel like if you want different results, you got to do different things. So we're gonna take it to a whole nother direction with this one.
And you said this EP gonna be more personal than usual.
Absolutely.
You dropped a single called Tension, and I felt the emotion in that song. You gave us a little bit. It was about 2.5 minutes, but it was just enough. So I felt the emotion. So what went into you making that song and the process of Tension?
Well, that's actually a great question because Tension was the surface level of what to expect from the album. Tension is actually the intro from the Popular Loner EP. People don't know that, but now y'all know. You know what I mean? I didn't want to really treat it like a single. That's why I released a performance video and not an actual music video. But it is the first, you know, okay, we about to jump into this EP. This is what I have to offer. This is what I'm popping it off with. Y'all can expect a lot of this on this project. It's very personal. It's a lot of substance. It's a lot of, you know, my personal experiences off of what I'm touching on, you know. Even, you know, how I started it, you know, I'm going to be specific. Through my hiatus, it was some tension. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of friction. But through the shit, I kept it prolific. Like, this is real shit. Like, I'm going to be specific because through my hiatus and not dropping music, it was a lot of stuff that transpired. It's time to touch on that shit now. You know what I mean? So, I'm excited, bro. Tension is actually being received very well. It's doing way I thought it was going to. My aim for it was just to allow the people to listen to it in the sense of, okay, let me be vulnerable with y'all. Y'all not used to this vulnerability from me. But I feel like the more I personalize it, the bigger my core fan base going to become. You know what I mean? So everything's personal. I'm putting it all out there. I'm being 110% vulnerable. And as a result, they received it well. Like, they love Tension. Like, the people love it. Like, yo, we want more of this from you. Like, we want more of this vulnerability. We want more of this substance. We want more stuff that we could feel because, believe it or not, bro, there's more people struggling and going through shit than there is people that just are above their means and wealthy. And just the struggle is outweighing the success right now. So people want to hear shit that they could feel.
So speaking of your fan base and they taking it well, the song Tension, how do you feel the support is compared from home into like out of staters or out of towners? Like, what's that like for you and your music? Do you think you get more love from home or do you get more love from strangers?
Or
do you don't really pay attention to it?
I try not to consume myself with it. It's like a catch-22 to that because, you know, on one end, of course, you know, I love my city. I love where I come from. But at the same time, I feel like I'm at a point in my music career where I've kind of peaked in the city. Like, it ain't really many people who don't know about Nahj or don't know that I rap. Or it's not really too many opportunities because we don't really have a huge market in the city. You know what I mean? So, you know, the beauty of social media nowadays is I can, you know, pay for promo in other states and other regions and, you know, get my algorithms up that way, which is where it's going to matter because at the end of the day, it's big. No matter how big you is in the city, if you're not peaking elsewhere, it's not going to amount up to anything. So as much as I love the town, I'm not saying I'm not doing it for my city, but my focus is elsewhere for sure. You know, I kind of got to go out to bring them in. You know what I mean? So that's the formula that I'm focused on, man.
So speaking of the town, and it's a bunch of rappers, even from when we talked 2 years ago, there's a bunch of more rappers out now. So does the music around here influence how you rap, or you just on your own type time, your own wave? Like how you navigate, how you write, how you make songs?
So my formula has pretty much been the same. I've always been tapped into my own space of creativity. I've never really kept up with the trends, but make no mistake, in order to stay relevant in this shit, you got to be able to make the trendy shit yours as well. So you may hear me on something trendy, but it's still gonna be me at the end of the day. You know, I'm a rapper. I'm here to rap. This shit is big boy rap. We ain't here for that bubblegum shit. We here to talk. We here to spit. Like, you know, if you ain't on that bar shit, don't even, because you ain't gonna last long. You know what I mean? With me anyway. Now, make no mistake, it's a lot of
that talk.
Nah, facts. And that's another thing. You know, I feel like I've been told I'm too humble. Like, Nahj, you too humble. You know what? They right. I am too humble. That humble shit is out. I'm him in real life. When it come to this rap shit, if niggas know what's up, and if you even, and it be the ones that don't acknowledge it that know the most. You know what I mean? So I do it for that too, because I get a kick out of that too. I like putting in their face as well, because I know even if you don't like a post or you won't share nothing, you're paying attention. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And if not, your girl is. So either way, they talking. But yeah, like, it's one of them things where I try not to get too consumed with the trend. Because, I mean, the only way you're going to stand out is if you stay true to you. And I think the missing component for me that I'm implementing now in today's time, in today's rap, is my consistency. That's always been the issue. It's not no more. I'm in their face, and it's going to stay that way. I don't try to, you know, allow what's happening now to determine what I'm doing, because everybody's race is different. My race is not the next niggas race or vice versa. Like, and make no mistake, even though I feel like I'm him, I'm not shitting on the next man either. I'm gonna always keep it humble to an extent, because we all still in the city. We all still trying to make it. Ain't nobody really better than nobody, but at the same time, I know why I'm doing it, and I gotta stay focused on that goal. You know what I mean?
So speaking on that, what keeps you motivated? Like, you touched upon it a little bit, but what keeps you motivated to keep rapping? Because you still independent. I don't know how you feel now about independent and label. We can get into that if you want. But Absolutely. Like, what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated is, you know, my circle, you know, my brothers, you know, my daughters, Nyla and Nori, I love y'all. Just my mom, you know, just doing it for the people that I know love me the most. And that's all the motivation I need. And ultimately, I love music, bro. So even when I hit 50, I'ma love this shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like God gave me a gift, and it would be a disjustice to him if I didn't implement that blessing. So I'ma always love it. The motivation always gonna be there, because I want this shit. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, more times than not, the journey be more exciting than the destination. So I'm enjoying just trying to make it. Who's to say when I make it that I even enjoy that aspect, because I'm already there at that point. You know what I mean?
Word. Then what?
You know what I mean? So, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, the motivation comes from all elements that I deal with, man. From my family to, you know, my friends to, you know, just what I'm paying attention to off of the people that I aspire to work with one day. You know, watching a person like Drake still work hard, like he's trying to make it, is going to motivate me. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it's one thing to be on, to get to the top, but it's another to stay on top. So, Word. You know, I'm motivated in all shapes, man. Plus, I feel like I got a little chip on my shoulder. I feel like, you know, people hate to acknowledge it. So now I'm going to make it unavoidable. You got to pay attention. You got to acknowledge it. And I'm on their ass now. So that's what we doing, man. That's where the motivation comes from.
And what about how you feel about the independent and the labels now? Like, if an opportunity presented itself, what you doing? I know it's hard to say because we're not in that moment right now, but just trying to look ahead. What do you think you would do? I know if the number right, you might take that deal, but let's just play a game of what if.
Well, in the game of what if, I'm probably honestly, bro, with the way that the shit is going nowadays, man, I don't even think I would sign to a major. Mm-hmm. I think I'm gonna stay independent. My mindset, my mentality was different a few years ago, or even further back than that. But times have changed, bro. You don't really even necessarily need the labels. The labels need you now.
Word.
You know what I mean? I'm looking for partnership. I'm looking for distribution. You know what I mean? That don't necessarily mean you got to sign to a label. And if your wave big enough, the masses is going to conform to what you negotiate. Mm-hmm. It ain't about how good you is; it's about what you can negotiate. So, you know, I'm gonna stay independent, no matter how big this shit get. And if it makes sense to sign to a major in the future, long as it makes sense, I'm all for it. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? Long as that advancement is what it should be, and everything is in place, and my family is taken care of, and certain things that mean the most, why wouldn't I? But ultimately, I'm staying independent, man. We want the distribution, we want partnership, we want equity. Mm-hmm. We don't want to be confined to being in these 360 deals, or the new slave management that goes on that you see every day. Like, I'm here for equity. Like, I'm here to create residual income. You feel me? So, with that being said, the best way to do that is through entrepreneurship. You know what I mean? So we got to boss up, man. You know what I mean?
And speaking of all that, with social media being what it is now, where your content can go viral, have you tapped into TikTok? 'Cause I see a lot of rappers and engineers and DJs get on TikTok. They go viral on a beat, a song. Mm-hmm. Have you tapped into that lane yet, or not yet?
It's crazy. One of my closest friends, he goes by the name of Q, or Quayshawn. He been in my ear like, bro, you got to tap into TikTok. You got to tap into these different platforms, not just Instagram, because musically it makes the most sense. You'll blow up faster on those platforms. Mm-hmm. And he's absolutely right. So I'm about to really just be in a face with that. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm going to post something on TikTok like tonight, matter of fact, and just get the ball rolling, because you never know, man. You never know who's watching. You never know what you feel like may not be good enough or may not be viral worthy could be the one to go viral. Like, Q, he just went viral, and he's a photographer, the best in New Jersey, by the way. Shout out to my nigga Quayshawn, man. Mm-hmm. Much better, you already know. But the Shade Room just posted him.
I saw that.
Yeah, he just did like 3.5 million in views off of a shoot that he never even thought in a million years would do it. Mm-hmm. He's had 1,000 other shoots prior to this that he felt was better than this, but this was the one to do it.
And I was gonna say, like, the songs, the podcast, whatever lane you in, and you try to put something that you think would be viral out, it don't go like that. It's that organic. Whatever it is, you put it out, and it go viral organically. Like you said, he ain't know that one was going to do that.
He had no clue at all.
But you never know. You got to put it out to even find out if something will go viral, or find out if somebody that you want to see it. It's like you'll never know if you don't put stuff out. And that's what I learned through this process of podcasting. I created a network, as y'all know,
right. Which is major, man. Give yourself a hand clap for that, because it should be acknowledged. Like, you've turned the podcast into a network, and now you have offsprings of other shows under the umbrella. So, which is just going to build over time, man. And
I got to build on that momentum, because, like, I love podcasting, but I'm starting to like behind the scenes more. So, of course, I'm gonna be on the podcast here and there, have guests on, because I still love to do it. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to put other people on. I know other people want to have podcasts, and I'm just an outlet. If they need me and they want my services, I got all the equipment they need. I'm here to help. If you're listening, you know where to hit me. But like you said, it's putting out that content, keeping it consistent.
Consistency is key,
and don't let anybody tell you that it's not worth it. You're not good enough, because I've heard that too. Facts. And it's like, even tell me that.
We ain't even keeping those frequencies around us. We ain't even having those vibrations in our vicinity. Like, we keeping the vibrations high, the frequencies as high as they could be. And you know, that's the beauty of my situation. Everybody around me is doing better than Nahj. I don't want to be the guy that's the biggest in my group of colleagues, because when it gets to that point, where is my drive coming from?
Right.
I'm happy that everybody I'm around is doing, and I'm doing okay, but I'm happy that the people that believe in me the most are in better positions. They keeping me pushing forward by just me feeding off of the levels I'm seeing them accomplish and the levels they're getting to. And you know, you're gonna miss 100% of the shots you don't take, bro. So I'm letting everything go. Ain't nothing getting kept. You know what I mean?
So how important is it for you to keep your circle solid? Like, how important is that? Because you know you can have certain friends, and there's nothing wrong with this, but you can have certain friends that's going that way. You got certain friends that's on your level, and then you got certain friends that's, like you said, ahead of you in a sense. So how important is it for you to, you know, keep your circle tight, keep the people around you that you feel like is going to elevate you around? Like, how important is that?
It's the most important, Reg. It's just as essential as the work you put into your craft. They go hand in hand. You kind of, it's like the yin to the yang. You really can't have one without the other, because without the right support base and the right core to keep you grounded, to keep you focused, to keep you motivated, you're not gonna accomplish much if it's just off of your sheer drive. Not saying one person isn't motivated enough to go and get it. You know, clearly it starts with you, but you know, you can only peak but so much by yourself. At some point, you need people that's going to be around, that's going to invest in you. But they're not going to invest in you if you're not investing in yourself. So, you know, it's super important. It's just as important as putting the work in. Like I said, you can't have one without the other. So I appreciate my circle, man. I appreciate my support team, and you know, everybody that just, you know, isn't afraid to support publicly. You know, people that when you post stuff, you ain't gotta ask them to share it. They just automatically on it. Like, those are the people you lock in on. That's your core. You know, those are the people that actually want to see you win. You know what I mean? Like, or you got to pay attention to the people who in the same lane as you and support you in private. You know what I mean? Because that just means that they're in secret competition with you. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you take it how you take it, but you know that's what come with this shit, man. It ain't for everybody. You either gonna be built for it or you can't, or you're not. But you know, we ain't begging for no support. You know, for the ones who get it, they get it, and for the ones who don't, you know, they lost.
That's a fact. And speaking of competition, like, I watch a lot of podcasts nowadays, and there's a lot in the town now. And they motivate me, and I repost, because you know me, like, right, it ain't about like who doing better than me. It's like, yo, I see what y'all doing, I love what y'all doing. I repost because I like what y'all doing. If it's not in my lane, like, one day I won't repost because I can't relate to that. But if certain things I relate to, I can repost, I will. And it's like you said, sometimes they be in secret competition, and it's like, I mean, we all can eat. Yeah. We all doing different things. It's a podcast, but we all like got different lanes and what we talk about and who we bring on. It's like we all can be great.
Right. Nah, I agree. But you know, ultimately, regardless of what lane you in, this shit's still a competitive sport, bro. So I don't never take it personally. Like, I'm not I'm not looking for nobody to do nothing. But you know, more salute to the ones who do without acknowledgement, without, you know, seeking the recognition, or, you know, trying to chase the clout off of your wave or your name. Like, those are the people you want to rock with. But nah, I mean, it is what it is. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Everybody ain't going to share Nahj shit. Everybody ain't going like Nahj music, you know, and that's fine. I'm gonna just rock with the ones who rock with me. That's what I'm learning to do. I'm not trying to cater to the masses no more. I'm trying to cater to my core. And a perfect example of that, or a person that I feel like exemplifies that a lot right now, is my guy La Russell. Oh yeah. I like La Russell. Shout out to La Russell, man. If this finds you in any way, bro, I just want to let you know you motivating real ones like me who trying to build it from the ground up. And you know, I watch all his content, you know, especially the interviews, because he be dropping jewels. And you know, he's living proof that you don't need no label, you don't need nothing. You could do this shit from your backyard, literally. He was throwing concerts in his backyard.
Word.
At where he lived.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And it turned into a whole thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, it ain't no excuses. We ain't looking for no handouts. We just want opportunity. That's it. That's all a nigga like me ever needed was opportunity. So
speaking of your support system, I know you recently, your mom recently passed. Miss Vicky was always good to me back in the day.
Right.
So how has her loss impacted you, not only personally, but musically? How has that impacted you?
Man, it's honestly, Reg, it's been a day by day process with that. Every day is different. It's still fresh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She just passed, so it's still relatively fresh. So the grieving is different, and you know, it's one of them things where I'm trying to still find coping mechanisms with it, but for the most part, my daughter keep me sane. My brothers, they keep me uplifted, and you know, we all collectively embracing this new journey together. But yeah, she was a beautiful lady, man. I miss my mom, man. You know, I miss her. I didn't even realize the impact she had on the city and on so many people until we lost her. You know what I mean? I didn't even realize how highly favored and how much love that she was loved by so many, man. So that's just a testament to my stardom, man. She put it in me. It ain't no coincidence that I'm that nigga. You know what I mean? Like, look who my mom is. You feel me? So I'm blessed, bro. I'm taking this. I ain't using it as a chip on my shoulder. I'm just using it as fuel and motivation to go harder with my music, because she was my biggest fan. You know what I mean? To go harder with being a father, to go harder with being a brother, to go harder with just wearing every hat to the best of my capabilities.
So you speaking of coping mechanisms, I'm not saying you might need it, but what do you think about therapy? Like, somebody under my network, bunch of guys, they talked about therapy and how some people said they loved it, some people wasn't with it. They said they can get through it on their own. What you think about therapy?
I think therapy should be normalized in the Black community. Personally, I'm all for therapy. I'm actually in the processes of doing some research on finding my own therapist, because I feel like I need it. I can't always cope with things by myself. You know, solitude and isolation isn't always the best premise for, you know, getting through things, especially in a grieving state. You know, it could lead to other things. It could open doors to things that you never thought you would get into just because you're trying to cope. You know what I mean? So I feel like the Black community, our people specifically, because of the traumas we're born into, the poverty we come from, you know, just the circumstances that have been normalized that we feel are normal that aren't normal should be talked about more. Like, you know, and that therapy can help with that. You know, so I'm all for it, man. And like I said, I'm definitely seeking some therapy right now, because mental health is key. How can I be inclined to chase my dream or do what I love to do what I'm best at doing if I'm not
Mentally sharp.
I'm not mentally there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I could put it into the music, but that is one of my coping mechanisms. That's why I should be so personal now. You know what I mean? And I haven't even touched on my mother because I'm not ready to face that musically yet.
Word.
But when I do, just know it's gonna be magic, and I got so much to say, man. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, with the therapy for sure.
And also, like, I know we as Black men and Black people, we tend to go to our friends for advice, and sometimes that's not the best thing to do either, because in times it can be, but at times it's like sometimes they're biased to you. They're gonna say what you think that you want to hear, and sometimes you don't need that. You need
an
that
unbiased, unpopular opinion that's gonna tell you what it is in black and white with no shades of gray.
Yeah, so we do got to normalize therapy in the Black communities, because like you said, it's traumas that some people don't even know they went through or been through, but they just haven't unpacked it yet.
Right.
So it's just, I think it's important. I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because I think it's important to talk about. It's important for people to hear from you, and just your thoughts on it, because some people don't, and that's fine. Like, people cope how they need to cope.
Yeah, it's no right or wrong way,
Yeah.
but you know, in my opinion, I do feel like it should be normalized. We need therapy. We all got stories. We all been through shit. We all come from treacherous environments. Like that shit is shied down upon, and it shouldn't be. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid, especially the black men. Especially the black man. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I need help. I need to release this. We take on a lot as black men. We wear a lot of different hats, and you know, the suicide rate is higher than it's ever been.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Like, this shit is real out here. It's not a game. People rather end it all than to seek therapy. That's not okay. We got to change that narrative. So, you know, anybody that's watching this or is gonna watch this, look, I'm accessible. I cannot know you from a can of paint, man. We got to stick together with that, and especially, like I said, you know, black women, but more so black men, because of the standard, the expectation, the pressure that comes with just being a black man in America. You feel me? It's not the easiest thing to do, but I love being a black man.
Facts.
I love the excellency that comes with blackness. Like, I wouldn't rather be no other race. You know what I mean? So, you know, yeah, bro, we got to normalize that shit.
And that's something I'm working on too. Not even with the people listening, but like family and friends, like just reaching out, just on any day, like just to see how they doing. Not to try to go out with them, like to genuinely ask them how they doing, because we ask like, how you doing, and sometimes that's just a conversation starter. But do you really like?
Do you really want to know how I'm doing?
Yeah.
Because I can get in depth.
Exactly.
Like,
so I'm
actually glad you asked me that. Like,
we got to check on our people more often.
Check on your people,
because
man.
It's a quote. I'm a paraphrase, but your strongest friends, the people you think your strongest friends, is going through the most. Right. So it's like,
check on your strong friends. Check on those strong friends,
because they going through the most. And like,
facts.
I'm working on it. I ain't the best at it yet, but I'm working on it.
Right.
So we 40 minutes in. I got a couple more questions for you. So what should we expect from you in 2023? I know we touched on it. You talked about the popular loner. You talked about more visuals. Anything else?
Nah, man, we just sticking to, you know, we just trying to elevate it. I know what I have planned, but ain't no telling what God have planned for me this year. So I'm allowing him to use me as a vessel, man. And whatever he got for me, we gonna embrace it. You know, I do know we gonna take on more wins than lessons. I ain't never took no loss, but we gonna definitely take more wins than lessons in 2023. The popular loner definitely dropping my best body of work. Just working harder than we ever worked, man. You'd be surprised on, you know, what sacrifice could lead you to. You could be surprised on what work ethic could put you, what opportunities could be presented off of the work ethic. So we just gonna work, bro. I'm here to work, and just push myself past my limitations, man. I don't want no barriers. You know what I mean? We just going, you know, go and get it. So 2023, just expect to see a lot more of me, and you know, more music, more of me talking that shit, man, and throwing that shit on, man. Y'all know I be throwing that shit on too. That's another thing we need to touch on, y'all. I know y'all see what's going on. I mean, that's another offspring of Big Vic. You know what I mean? My mom, that's why I nigga be dripping like that. But but yeah, man. You know, 2023, we popping our shit, man. We getting to the bag, taking care of our families, bro, and putting God first above anything. So,
couple more. So, are you working with anybody on the popular loner? Like, do you have
I got some features, man.
If you want to name them, you don't got to.
No, absolutely. I got some people that I feel are, you know, poised to be stars one day. I got my guy Domino Black on there, man. Capo, man. I got, who else I got on there? I got my boy Levi on there, man. 180. You know what I mean, we rep the same gang. I got who else I got on there? I got my girl S got on there, man. Chanel, you know I love you, baby. She's incredible. Like, y'all gonna love her on there. Who else I got on the project? I got some people, man.
Just stay tuned.
I got my boy LA Benji on there. I got a few features, man. You know what I mean? We just try to make it make sense. RP to my nigga Miller, man. Miller Mac on there. We miss you, Miller. He actually blessed me with a verse shortly, before he passed, man. So I got something special for the people, man. But predominantly, it's ultimately a lot of me on there. I didn't really want to go crazy with the features, but I definitely wanted to show some love. Oh yeah, how can I forget? The next single I'm going to drop soon, man. It's called No Beastin', featuring my guy Mide. He from East Orange, North Jersey. Man, this might be one of the most talented guys. And I've known him for years. We've created a brotherhood off of just music. I met him musically, but over time it just turned into now that's really my guy. Like we talk regularly. Like what I mean. The rapport is crazy. The music chemistry is there, and bro, the record that I got with him. Like I said, I'm gonna play the EP after we wrap this up. But the music I got with him, the single I'm gonna drop next, it's a banger, man, and He's incredible. He's a Afrobeat artist, you know what I mean? So, he into the Caribbean vibes. But, I'm trying to tap into all of my levels of sounds this year. I will not be put in a box. You will not marginalize me to having me think I could just cater to one audience. We trying to touch every audience, And I'm going to talk to the ladies more this year, too, in 2023, because y'all love me the most. So I kind of got to give y'all more attention, you feel me? And I'm sorry for that. But I'm gonna make it right though, for sure.
So be on the lookout for all that, ladies. That new single as well. So I like to ask this question to all my guests when I have them on. What's some advice in your case you would give up and coming rappers? Because we kind of older now, Nahj.
Right.
So is young kids who probably want to be rappers, or already rappers. What's some advice you can give them as 17, 18, 19-year-old, even 20, coming up in this rap game, independent? What's some advice you can give them?
The best advice I could give the next up and coming kid that's trying to do this shit, man, is the most distinguishing factor you could have in this shit is to never stop. Just don't stop. That's the secret ingredient to all this shit. Don't stop. If you got a passion for it, if you love to do it consistently. My lack in consistency is why I'm not where I was, but also why I'm not where I want to be. So if I could have go back and been, kept my foot on their necks nonstop, I know I would have been further than I am now. Still grateful, still blessed, nonetheless, still highly favored, but just don't stop, man. If you love this shit, live in it. People love a story. People love a success story. People love feeling like they're part of your success story. So give them that. Give them the work ethic. Give them sleepless nights in the studio, or whatever you pursuing. Not even just in the rap, but anything you pursuing, just don't stop. Live in it. And, don't be afraid to be vulnerable about it, because that's how you're going to get people behind you. So. Yeah,
Nahj, I appreciate you. Before we go, give them your Instagram handles, all that stuff.
Yo, man, it's the boy Nahj, man. Shout out to the Playmakers podcast, my guy Reg. Y'all already know y'all can follow me on all platforms. Instagram, NahjMuse, MUSE, Nahj, NAHJ. The same on Twitter, NahjMuse. TikTok, NahjMuse. NahjMuse everywhere, man. And I go by Muse because I'm here to inspire. I'm here to be a reflection of inspiration. So, as a muse, you are that. You know what I mean? Inspiration. So, yeah, man, NahjMuse everywhere. And pay attention to the new music that's coming. I'm on y'all ass. My foot on their necks. We ain't letting off on the gas this time, man. I appreciate y'all for having me, too.
So before I go, make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment.
Like this shit.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow the Playmaker podcast.
We dropping
man.
clips. You see the Instagram handle below at the Playmaker Podcast Network now. On Instagram, that's on Instagram, Twitter, the Playmaker Pod, TikTok, the Playmaker Podcast Network. YouTube. You on it right now, so you know
That's
what it is.
That's a fact.
We appreciate y'all for tapping in. Watch that first episode we had with Nahj.
There's a lot of gems on that first one too, man.
So make sure y'all tap in with Nahj. He on Apple Music. He
everywhere.
Tidal, everywhere
Spotify,
you listen to music.
Nahj, just type in Nahj on anything. NAHJ, I'm gonna pop up, man.
So make sure y'all tap in with both of us. We appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, bro. And this is episode I forget because it's been so long.
You've been doing it so long, you done lost count, man.
We out. Peace.
I just don't like being with a lot of niggas. I don't like being around a lot of people. Real talk.
The popular loner, king to the throner. My position, they want it, but I don't condone it. I went from down to up, you could call it good karma. I went from down to up, you could call it good karma.